Okay, here we have our first example of syncopated rhythms on worksheet 27 in exercise 1. You see that we have an eighth note, a quarter note, and then an eighth note. That's half of a beat plus one full beat plus half of a beat, so half plus one plus half is 2, and that's how many we have in a measure. If you were to count this, it would sound like this. 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1, 2. And if I were to clap count that, it would be like this. 1, 2 and 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1, 2. In exercise number 3, we see it in a measure with 3/4, or 3 beats in a measure. So we have half plus 1 plus half plus 1 equals 3. Number 3 would sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1, 3. Syncopation will not always happen or begin on beat 1. On worksheet 37, in number 3, we see that the syncopation, the eighth, the quarter note, and the eighth, actually starts on the third beat of the measure. We have beat 1, beat 2, and then beat 3. So when you're clapping and counting, it slightly changes. Here's how number 3 sounds. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that time I left out the number that happens right here after the quarter note each time. Here's how it sounds if I put that back in. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do it whichever way is easiest for you, but you must make sure you clap the rhythm correctly. On worksheet 51, in the first rhythm exercise, we now see our first example of a dotted quarter note followed by an eighth note. It's very likely that you will have one of these in the exercises. The dotted quarter note gets 1 1/2, 1 and 2, and then the eighth note gets the last half a beat in the measure, the and, or the upbeat, of 2. If I were to clap exercise 1, it would sound like this. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2. If you follow along as I point, it goes like this. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2. You also see an example in number 4. Here we have 4 beats in a measure, and it has 2 examples of the dotted quarter eighth rhythm. It sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. At the bottom of worksheet 54, we have an example where there is a syncopated rhythm, and there's also a dotted quarter note followed by an eighth note rhythm in the same set of measures. Here, the syncopated rhythm starts on beat 3, and the dotted rhythm starts on beat 1 of the third measure. This is how this one would sound. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3, 4.